my name is Sandy Gomez, and I'm the Chief Medical Officer for BHcare.
And I'm Dawn Renaud. I'm one of the clinicians for BHcare. I work at East Haven Counseling.
Today, we're going to talk about COVID vaccine. Dawn, how did you learn about the Pfizer study, and how do you become interested in participating?
Well, I was actually, believe it or not, on Facebook one night, and I saw an ad for it come up. I actually have PTSD myself, so having COVID around you and just watching TV and seeing a lot of death around you makes you a little paranoid. So when the study came up, I sort of saw that as my way out of my own head. I saw that as my own solution to my PTSD. So I called the very next morning and signed up.
So
go ahead.
Part of what you felt you needed to do to have.
Yes, it was my way to help myself and to help others at the same time, because I saw a lot of my friends struggling at the same time. I saw friends losing their family members to COVID. I saw clients calling and they were afraid. I saw clients afraid to leave their houses. I saw awful things on TV. When you turn on the TV and you see refrigerator trucks and you think of those are family members, you look for ways to help. I mean, we are the helpers. So it's hard to not have that in ourselves to want to help. So this was my small way of helping, I thought. And my running joke with my friends was I was hoping I'd get something cool out of this, like a third arm, a third eye. I got none of those things. It's my way of, I have kind of a dark humor to deal with my own PTSD. I got none of those cool things. But I did get a way to help. And I felt kind of powerless in all this. And with COVID, we all felt powerless in that moment. There was nothing we could do except sit home. That was our way of helping, stay home. Yes. As a child of the 70s, we were all trained, stay home, read a book, we were the latchkey kids. So this was our moment to shine. We got to stay home, and do our thing to help. But this was a whole other way of helping.
Yes, thank you for sharing that information with us. Going through the study, what kinds of things did you have to do to participate in?
Initially, it was really just simple. It was like 2:00 in the morning of insomnia, and you filled out a, 1-page, questionnaire. The very next morning, somebody called me. So there wasn't a whole lot of turnaround time to think. I was in within days. It was an hour long of watching, videos and signing consents. There were a lot of consents that I had to sign. Waiving an awful lot of things. And it was the right thing to do at the end of it. They were like, "Are you sure you read all that?" And I'm like, "Listen, I deal with informed consents every day. I know what I'm signing away on. I'm good here." And by the end of that visit, I had a shot in my arm. They were like, "Stay here, wait 20 minutes. We're going to go warm up the shot." They asked me questions about, do you see patients? And I'm like, yes, I see patients. Do you have interactions with people? Yes, I have interactions with people every day. So by the end of that visit, I had to wait a half an hour before I left, because they were like, do you realize you could have a seizure? Do you realize you could have, an adverse reaction? And I'm like, yes. I'm like, my son's in the car. So, because I had somebody come with me just in case. So, my son is 22. I was like, figured something went wrong. I had somebody with me. So I went home and had my first vaccine.
Yeah. Sounds like the process was fairly fast. That they took their time to really explain all the potential side effects from getting the vaccine. We know the study was double-blinded, so you didn't know what you got.
Initially, no, I didn't. It was actually, I went home and I was kind of disappointed. I was like, I feel fine. I kept telling my husband, I'm fine. There's nothing wrong with me. I think I got robbed. And then I went home that night and I found out there was this super secret Facebook group for people that had gotten the vaccine. And you have to post your credentials to get in. So you have to post when you go to Pfizer or one of the vaccine sites, you get credentialed. So you have to post those. And now I'm outing them. They're going to be mad at me. And so I went in and a lot of them said, when you get your first one, you don't get side effects. Wait till you get your booster. You'll know. And when I got my booster, boy, did I know.
Yeah. So what side effects do you get? Do you get any adverse events too?
So after the first shot, I got nothing. My arm hurt a little bit, no more than the flu shot. I was okay. So what Pfizer explained to me was 10% of people upon booster, and they warned me, get some side effects at the booster shot. And I got them. I got a fever. I was nauseous. I was tired, but I couldn't sleep. And this went on for about 48 hours. And it started at 12 hours in, which they said was fairly typical. I was uncomfortable. And it was worth it. At that point, I was like, yeah, I got the real thing. Placebo shot is not going to make me feel like this. So at that point, I was miserable, but I was happy. And then also Pfizer recently, because I'm considered a healthcare worker through DPH, because I'm a counselor, considers mental health workers and I guess essential workers. Plus the Pfizer unblinded me.
Yes.
So I did get the shot.
So that's where you are at in the study. You're being unblinded. So what are the next steps for you?
I'm sorry?
What are the next steps after
the next steps?
You have.
I stay in the study for 2 years. They'll see me every couple of months. So what they're testing us for at this point is how long do we continue having, it's called mRNA. So what you're not injected with COVID, which is interesting. I mean, there's all kinds of videos about this. You're not given the live COVID like you are the flu shot. You're injected with the genetic coding so that your body knows when it's gotten COVID. So it breaks off those spikes. So you're not getting COVID, you're getting the genetic coding to recognize so your body can not get COVID, essentially, is my understanding.
Yeah.
So they're testing us to make sure we have that ability. And for how long? So we're going to be the ones to know when everyone will need a booster shot. So yes. They're going to keep testing us to see how long our ability lasts, and then when will everyone need a booster, and how long that'll last.
You'll continue participating in the study. Yes, so essentially that is what the vaccine technique is this particular vaccine technique. And it's not, a portion of the virus being inoculated on you or shot on the individuals that take the vaccine. It's more about the protein that's going to spike the other proteins to produce a response to, to the virus if you do get, infected or in contact with it. Correct. That is going to make your own immune system then fight it and not become sick. Very, very interesting technology, and I'm glad that the education did go through the subjects of the study clearly clear, and so you knew what you were getting when you got it. And I'm also glad that you're unblinded, that you know now that you're immune to COVID and you're happy about it. I want to go back a little bit so that people understand more about the side effects that you experienced. How long did they last? And you did say you were a little bit uncomfortable and miserable, but you were, hopeful that was the vaccine and that was the purpose for you to have peace of mind, that you entered the study thinking you will be one of the first people that won't have to worry about developing the disease through the vaccine. So you were very, very hopeful for the opportunity, but also for the science that the study had, applied through the vaccine. But how long did it last, and how did you then recover from the side effects?
So it lasted for me about 48 hours. They said most people it's 12 to 48 hours. And one of the nice things about having a little support group to tie into this was people post things all the time. And Facebook is a great thing. People post things all the time. And someone found a video where a epidemiologist did a little psychoed and talked about the different, births of the Pfizer vaccine. And we're phase 1, there weren't a whole lot of side effects for the booster shot and, the different doses. And by the time they found the one that was most effective, the booster did have some side effects. So when you get that effectiveness, you also get side effects. So you kind of want those side effects for it to be effective. So that also made me happy because now I know that I've also got the dosage at the right dose to know that it's going to be the most effective. Mm-hmm. So I'm not getting a small dose that's not going to be ineffective. I'm getting the right dose.
Great. So very similar to other vaccines, right? So the side effects are mild and they're also, transient, meaning that they pass within a few days. For you was no more than 2 days. So it is something that we're all familiar with and that we have experience with other vaccines. And is actually consistent with what other subjects of the study had, people who participate in the study have described, right? So that they did get a little bit uncomfortable, and definitely felt some of those general side effects. But then they were fine the next day. And some of them also described that they had to take it over the counter, Tylenol or, a pain reliever perhaps, but nothing else. And it definitely didn't require any follow-up medical care. Right. And it seems like you were very well monitored. And that was an extra layer of reassurance, right, that you were taken care of by the investigators of the study. Great to see. So how do you rate the whole experience? How do you with the vaccination, how do you think overall your experience, was?
I would do it again. Just to help other people. I mean, right now, seeing these doctors and nurses who have worked so hard. Pfizer sent out a little Christmas card to everybody, thanking the volunteers. There were 46,000 of us. That's it. I mean, in a sample size of the United States of America alone, to think that this is going to, change the world, 46,000 people worldwide, that's a drop in a bucket for the world to be getting this now. Yes. So that we can get back to not walking around in masks and not having to be afraid to go to the grocery store or be afraid to do anything anymore. That this has been an awful long 10 months for all of us. And I can't imagine little kids having to walk around with masks. And, I talked with a client the other day, every generation has their awful. If you think about it, everybody talks about the Spanish flu, but we also forget about the kids that had polio and the kids that had smallpox. Every generation has had their vaccine. And, I'm a kid of the 70s. We haven't had our vaccine. This is our vaccine. And I got to participate in that. So
yeah, certainly thank you for your participation. Sounds like that's your message to us as we look forward to have the opportunity to ourselves get vaccinated. Is there anything else you want to add to your message to us? And, in the question that everybody is probably having by that point, would you recommend us or in general public to get the vaccine if they have the chance?
Talk to your doctor. I mean, all my friends are asking me, should I get it? Listen, first of all, talk to your doctor. There are some people that are to the hospital after getting vaccinated. Talk to your doctor. But please, if you can, and the doctor says yes, we need 85% of the world to get this vaccine so we can get back to normal. And until that happens, we can't get back to normal. So we either all wear our mask the way we're supposed to, which is, up over our nose, or, people get a vaccine. It's one or the other. We don't really have a choice.
Absolutely. Dawn, thank you so much for sharing your whole experience. We certainly appreciate your candid, responses to the questions. I'm sure there will be people that will reach out to you with other questions. We appreciate your, your steps into being part of that host of people that did make possible for the vaccine to be tested and approved. And so for that, we're very thankful, and good luck to you. And hopefully you'll come back and tell us how you do. You're still part of the follow-up arm. So we definitely will want to hear more about your experience in the future. Thank you so much.
Thank you.